They did just remove the car. You can see some of the skid marks here. A guard like this one is supposed to be the one thing that prevents you from sliding underneath a tractor trailer in a dangerous accident. But is it really safe and holding up to standards? They said they hope lifting this gag order might mean they get some answers. But in the end, they decided to table the whole measure altogether. Right now, let's take a look inside. Not every day you get to see inside the steeple. And power lines actually lying in the water as we take a walk down here. But a couple was inside the home at the time that this storm system struck. These new cameras roll anytime the buses are on and running, so that when these stop signs come out, they can track any car passing illegally. There's no set standard for store security cameras, and that's a big deal. Because when somebody walks in the door and looks up, this is what investigators are going to see. And if it's worse quality than this one, it makes it a lot harder to catch the criminal. Many high schoolers have iPhones, and if they have the new iOS 11 update, when they get in the car, there's a new feature that might help. It's called Do Not Disturb while driving. When turned on, it can tell when you're driving and hold that notification of a new text. This is one of many dangerous streets in Bibb County. It's wider than a normal two-lane street, which is a problem for two reasons. One, cars will drive by faster thanks to the extra space. And two, cars will pass on the outside if they're in a rush. And if you're walking into the crosswalk like me, that means the cars don't see you coming. Some researchers say more needs to be done. Quentin Johnson says looking back at his accident on I-75 Tuesday, he knows he was close to being seriously hurt.
What I was thinking through the whole thing is I gotta try to survive this.
Johnson's car broke through the left side of the 18-wheeler's underride guard, a safety measure that is designed to prevent cars from going underneath semis. Research engineer Matt Brumbelow works for the Insurance Institute of Highway Safety, a nonprofit working to make roads safer. After looking at pictures of Johnson's crash, he has one takeaway.
If there had been a passenger in the right seat, the chances of them being injured would have been much greater.
Johnson says the same. He knows he was just feet away.
I wasn't on the passenger side. I could have been dead, but God was with me, and it was crazy.
Brumbelow says it appears the underride guard in Tuesday's crash was an older model. He says there are more effective guards out there, but no current regulations making semi-manufacturers upgrade.
The manufacturers that we have tested, they're not forced to fit all of the new guards on the new trailers, so in some cases it's still an option.
He says many people who lose loved ones to underride are frustrated with the lack of progress for greater public safety.
Just how easy the fix could be, that improving the rear guard design, it's not rocket science. It takes a little bit of extra material in the right places.
Johnson is one of those who counts himself as lucky.
It was really scary, but I'm just so glad that I'm alive to live to see another day. There's currently bipartisan legislation in a congressional subcommittee called the Stop Underrides Act of 2017. It would boost safety measures for the rear underride guards here and also add side underride guards as well. IIHS research says in 2016, more than 700 people died in crashes with tractor trailers involving the side and the rear of the semi. And Quentin Johnson says he feels lucky that he's not one of that statistic.
Please, I'm at Family Dollar. Someone is inside the store selling. Me and my cashier is in the office with the office door locked.
Okay, you said they're in there still shoplifting?
They're in there in here right now. Please hurry.
That's the beginning of a 911 call on January 12th. Beverly Burke was working at the Family Dollar on Mercy University Drive that night, but she didn't make the call.
They love robbing Family Dollars, and I can't understand it because it's a dollar store. You know what I'm saying? They don't have no money.
Burke has been robbed before. She was working at a different store then. A man walked in and pointed a gun at her head. She says she only had one thought.
I was like, if he kills me, who's gonna get my baby stuff off of that way? It's Christmas.
The woman on the 911 call was trying to tell dispatch about the person wearing dark clothes on the security cameras. She watched from the back of the store.
They're behind the counter and they're going for my safe right now. My safe is open. Please hurry.
Stay on the line, ma'am. Stay on the line, okay?
Okay.
Burke knows the feeling, the fear.
but says you can't think about it every night.
You can't do that and work here. You know, you come in, you do your job, and you go home.
As sheriff's deputies arrived at Family Dollar, the caller saw the suspect approach the front door and then...
Oh my God, that's my store manager.
Are you serious?
Yes. I'm so sorry. She scared the heck out of us.
The manager came in after hours when the employees weren't expecting her. A case of mistaken identity, but one that shows the fear of dollar store employees around the area. They drive by every day, not knowing that just up the hill lies Charles Douglas, builder of Douglas Theater in downtown Macon, or Jefferson Long, the first black man elected to Congress. Yolanda Lattimore knows. Her family is buried here. She will be buried here. She wants the cemetery cleaned up, but
I worry that it may not get done in my lifetime. I really do.
Linwood Cemetery is overgrown, some tombstones forgotten. Established in 1894, the mostly black cemetery is worn down, nature taking over.
But I feel sad because this is our history. You know, more than anything, it motivates us to want to learn when we know we've made all types of contributions to society from a local to a global level.
I-75 traffic can be heard from the cemetery at all hours. And if there's one pro for the I-75 expansion currently underway, it's that it's bringing more attention to another historic landmark.
Right over this hill is Linwood Cemetery, in desperate need of some cleanup. But underneath here is a nearly 200-year-old beer cave from one of Macon's first breweries, something that has a lot of people interested in this area.
Some hope preserving this cave could convince others to help save the cemetery.
But also brings greater attention to our need to preserve spaces like Linwood Cemetery, where we have some of the most significant Maconites in our history.
For Lattimore, she's working to improve this place before she joins her family. In Macon, Evan Watson, WGXA News. Before this could happen,
yeah, this is awesome, man.
David Privet decided he would do anything to get a lost ring from the Warner Robins high school class of 1975 back to its owner. Weeks after the first search and yearbook investigation went cold, Privet found out about Jeffrey Brown in Mississippi. So he wrote a letter.
Dear Jeff Brown, I'm glad I could return your class ring to you after all these years.
And went to the post office.
I hope it brings back good memories for you.
And shipped it off.
Life was a much simpler time back then.
Always go.
I want to see the guy I gave the ring to.
Thursday, Privet got his wish. Brown opened up the package on FaceTime so Privet could see his reaction.
I'm kind of getting tightness in my throat. You know, starting to shed a little tea here, man. Now, this is awesome.
And Privet couldn't escape the waterworks either.
I'm kind of tearing up a little bit right now myself.
After the initial shock, time to relive.
Coach Honeycutt.
Yeah, I remember him.
Remember him?
Yeah, I sure do.
And reminisce.
Scared me to death. I joined the spring musical and got involved in the Follies instead.
It's a non-traditional high school reunion.
David, you really got, you've got that specialness in your core and your heart to be able to, do something like this, take on something like this, to reunite this with its owner.
A new high school friendship more than 40 years after graduation.